It is estimated that over $2 trillion in illicit funds flows through the global financial system every year. It's not just carried in suitcases or buried in the ground. It is digital, it is fast, and it is hiding in plain sight. For the world's drug cartels, making billions is the easy part. The hard part is spending it. To do that, they need the banking system. And for some of the world's biggest banks, that dirty money wasn't a crime. It was a business model. But how do reputable banks profit from blood money? It's rarely a handshake in a back alley. It is systemic. First, volume fees. Banks charge fees on wire transfers, currency exchanges, and account maintenance. When a cartel moves $100 million through thousands of small transactions, the bank collects a cut on every single one. Second, liquidity. In times of financial crisis, cash is king. Drug money provides a steady stream of liquid capital when legitimate credit markets dry up. If a bank is low on cash reserves, they aren't going to ask too many questions when someone walks in with $10 million in cash. They call it willful blindness. They don't want to know where it came from, because knowing would mean turning away the profit. Perhaps the most infamous example involves Wachovia Bank, now part of Wells Fargo. In the mid-2000s, Mexico was in the grip of a violent drug war. Yet, cash was flying across the border, literally. Cartels used Mexican currency exchange houses to wire billions of dollars into Wachovia accounts. The red flags were obvious. Sequential travelers' checks, bulk cash deposits that exceeded legitimate business needs, and transfers from high-risk zones. In one instance, a DC-9 jet captured by authorities with 5.7 tons of cocaine was found to have been purchased with funds laundered through Wachovia. In total, it was alleged that $378.4 billion flowed through the bank unchecked. When the dust settled, Wells Fargo paid a settlement of $160 million. That sounds like a lot, but do the math. $160 million is a fraction of a percent of the money laundered. If the profit from holding that cash exceeds the fine is just a cost of doing business. Bank of America has faced its own battles. In 2014, federal investigations alleged that Colombian cartels used accounts at B of A to launder drug proceeds. But sometimes, the threat comes from the inside. Cartels often use funnel accounts, accounts opened in one state to receive cash deposits from all over the country, which are then immediately withdrawn or wired out. In 2018, a former Bank of America employee admitted to opening dozens of accounts specifically for a drug trafficking organization. While the bank itself often settles these cases by promising to improve their monitoring systems, the sheer volume of structuring, breaking large deposits into small amounts to avoid detection, allows the fees to pile up long before the accounts are frozen. Even American Express, a symbol of premium banking, hasn't been immune. In 2022, Amex agreed to a settlement for violations of the Foreign Narcotics Kingpin Sanctions regulations. The issue here was often human error and system failure. In one case, an account linked to a known drug trafficker was flagged by the automated system. But due to internal confusion and compliance failures, the suspension was lifted, allowing transactions to continue. For a credit issuer, the profit comes from the merchant fees and interest on every transaction made by these high-rolling criminals before the card is finally cut off. In almost all these major cases, the outcome is a deferred prosecution agreement. The banks admit to having deficiencies in their anti-money laundering programs. They pay a fine, and they promise to do better. But rarely do the executives go to prison. The banks remain open, and as long as the drug trade generates cash, that cash will need a home. And for the right price, the banking system is always open for business. This script is based on historical allegations, settlements, and court documents. Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and American Express have all stated they have since updated their compliance and anti-money laundering protocols.